All right, so we've all been there before. You're out, got your drone in the air, filming a shot or taking a photo, and you just wish it could be a little bit wider. Poof, there we go. Well, you don't have to wish anymore because DJI actually has this wide angle lens here for the Mini 3 Pro, which as you can see, makes the field of view significantly wider. So if you have that shot you want to get of your house, but the trees are too close, you can get it. Or if you want to get a little bit wider view when you're flying through something, you can also get it. But is it worth it? And will it actually decrease your image quality? Because that is potentially the risk you run whenever you put a filter or some new glass in front of your camera. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Hi, my name is Gabe, and this is Digital Tech Reviews and Tips. And in this video, as you can tell by the title, I'm talking about and testing out the Mini 3 Pro wide angle filter and putting it through its paces. First, telling you what it features, like what you got to know about it basically. Second, does the image quality at least not look worse than the standard image quality? And third, showing you some side-by-side shots with both the normal lens and then the wide angle lens attached. And then finally, of course, I'm going to be telling you the big thing, is it worth it? True, this accessory is only $40, but $40 is still $40. And if you don't need this, then don't spend that money on this and go spend it elsewhere where it will be better utilized. But yeah, that's enough of the talk. Let's get into this video and help you figure out, is this accessory right for you and your drone? All right, so first things first, let's talk about the lens itself here. As you can see, it comes in this nice little carrying case. You pick it up for $40 from Best Buy, DJI, insert, Amazon, I don't know, whatever electronics store you like to purchase stuff from. And it's good it comes in a case because it is freaking small. Like, look at that here when I hold it in my hands. Wow, it is absolutely tiny. Obviously, because the Mini 3 Pro is tiny, thus goes your filter. But yeah, so small. It's made of black plastic here, and then a nice little clear like glass or maybe hard plastic, not quite sure. But as you can see, it says 0.65x on the front there, and that is because it takes your drone from about 24 millimeters to 14 millimeters, which is more in the territory of like a wide angle lens, but not quite getting to fisheye, which is like kind of more like 8 millimeters. So you don't get too much warping on the drone shots you do with this lens. And then all you do with this literally is just take your drone. It has a little kind of placeholder piece of plastic that you can just unscrew, take it off the front. You see literally there is no plastic or glass in the frame of that one. It just kind of just holds the place and looks cool and displays the f-stop on the front of it. And then you take your wide angle lens right here and you're just gonna kind of like twist that into place like so, and voila, now you have your wide angle field of view on the drone. And pretty much it just operates exactly the same as when you don't have the wide angle field of view. As you can see probably now on the drone shot over there, if it doesn't overheat, we have a wider angle field of view. You can see all the way up to here and now all the way down to the table. So that's pretty cool. If you're shooting like kind of indoors or in areas where there's like trees or I don't know, things that can prevent you from getting further away from your subject, the wide angle lens will help. The only thing it's gonna change about your drone is sometimes you're gonna get some like gimbal overloaded messages. And if you get that, just kind of power cycle the drone, make sure the gimbal is moving freely. Like sometimes just a little finicky gimbals in general, and this kind of makes it act up. And the other thing is it actually disables panorama mode. But other than that, you can still use hyperlapse, you can use your video, slow motion, you can use vertical portrait mode, you can do all the other stuff, just no panoramas, because I think they figure, hey, you have a wide angle field of view now, you don't need panoramas. And they're probably right, like, yeah, just switch back to the regular lens if you want to do a panorama. Otherwise, that's it for the physical specs and features that you get with the wide angle lens here. Now let's go on and talk about how it affects the image quality and give you some side-by-side comparisons. So one of of the things that's just inherent with any time you put a new lens or piece of glass in front of your camera is that you might be introducing some sort of like image quality degradation. And so that's the first thing we're testing out here, trying to see just how good the image quality is and if there's any issues when we have this lens on the camera. Because I am filming right now with the Mini 3 Pro, wide angle lens attached, and we can just even pause the frame here and zoom around into the corners to see if there's any artifacting like loss of focus, color fringing, stuff like that. Standard things you might see with this lens or with a bad quality lens potentially. And overall, really my thoughts, I mean, I'll have sample images down below that you can check out, but overall really it's pretty good. The three main issues I noticed, number one is that there's just kind of a yellow tint when you put this lens on the drone. You can see it in the first shot of this video actually when I'm screwing it onto the camera lens. And my fingers go from kind of being a red to more of like a yellow greenish color, just slightly, not too big of an issue. You can fix it in post, but just something to know for sure. The other thing is that there is some warping of the image. It's a 14 millimeters, so it is pretty wide. And when you tilt or pan fast, you'll tend to notice that you can see the image definitely is distorted a little bit, but again, not a big issue, and it is something to expect when you have something around 14 millimeters. Finally, the last thing that I did notice with this lens when I'm filming with the Mini 3 Pro is that because it's a wider field of view, there's a greater chance that you have like a really bright spot and a really dark spot in the frame, which just exposes like the weaknesses of this OmniVision OV48C sensor that the Mini 3 Pro is using. Now, this isn't a bad thing. It just is, like you can see in the shots that I have side by side, the ones with the wide angle lens attached just tend to look worse because there's a greater chance there's like stuff blowing out or there's stuff underexposed due to the wider angle field of view. Not a fault of the lens, like bad quality, but just because of what the lens is doing to the camera and making it work harder. But yeah, that's really it for the image quality test. Now let's go to actually some direct comparisons. I don't need to talk for those. You just need to see them and decide on your own what you think the result is. So now that you know what the wide angle lens looks like, what it makes the camera look like, and how it compares to the original normal camera view on the Mini 3 Pro, I can try to help you decide whether or not it's worth it for you, or whether or not you should just hit pass and forget about it and move on to something else. Personally, I've had the wide angle lens for about 2 to 3 months now, and I have used it about 2 to 3 times. I mean, I've used it more times just in the past week creating this review than I have entirely any other time before. And I think that's because with drones, adding or attaching a lens, it's just not as easy as it is with a camera. You know, if you're shooting with a camera and you want to switch lenses, grab the lens, put it on, boom, you're done in like less than a minute. With a drone, it's like, okay, you have the drone flying, and then, all right, I want to switch lenses, bring it back. That's like maybe, I don't know, depending how far away you are, that's like another 2-3 minutes. Then bring the drone, land it down, switch lens. That's not that long, like a minute, that's normal. But then get it back up to where you were, that's another 2-3 minutes. So like you're looking at maybe at least 5 minutes to switch a lens. And then if you want to, okay, actually no, that was a bad idea, I don't want that lens, bring it back. All right, so it just starts to eat up time. And if you're shooting at sunset, sunrise, where you only get a precious little amount of time, then time is vital. And switching to a wide angle lens, when you could just use the normal lens, and if you want a little wider angle, fly the drone back further, or use the panorama feature to get a little wider field of view, then that's going to be easier than putting on a whole different lens. However, if you have a specific shot in mind, say like a vlog style shot where you're talking to the camera and it looks like a normal vlog, and you're just talking to it about stuff like that while you slowly go towards the balcony and then take off with the drone in a smooth manner, so people are like, what? how is it even flying? Like, I thought that was just a camera. And then you fly backwards to reveal that you're actually standing on a balcony. If that's a shot that you have in mind, that you've been thinking about, and the wide angle lens would definitely help with that, then the wide angle lens might be for you. So basically the takeaway is, if you have a specific, I need it for this shot, and you've maybe tested it out with your iPhone or smartphone, because that wide angle lens is about the same like field of view as the wide angle lens here on the Mini 3 Pro, and you're like, yeah, I really need it for this, then get this lens, get this wide angle lens and put it on your drone. And if not, it's only $40. But otherwise, don't just buy it out of like curiosity, because really the drone gives you all the creative possibilities you need to do wider angle fields of view. And also with a drone, in most cases, you can just fly backwards a little bit to get a wider angle field of view rather than actually putting on a wider lens. So you don't really need a lens like this. But yeah, hopefully this video helped you and didn't just create more uncertainty about the whole thing. If you are still watching, thank you for making it all the way through this video. If you want to subscribe, like, comment, or do whatever, just interact with this video in a positive way. It will help the YouTube algorithm know that this is a good video and that they should send it to others. Links down below to everything I mentioned, including sample images. But that's it for today's video, guys. So peace out, fly safe, and as always, have a nice day. Bye. Oh no, I just wish my Mini 3 Pro had a wider angle view so that I could film more of the landscape behind me. Whatever shall I, oh, what's this? A wide angle filter from DJI? Well, I've never heard of that before, but I guess I'll put it on my drone. Oh, okay. That's what we're doing.